Bung Bung. As always, welcome to the Poddy is brought to you by Bung Bung Coffee, the coffee for all occasions. Whether you are gearing up for work at your office job, about to race in the F1 in Vegas, or losing a rap battle to Kendrick Lamar, Bung Bung Coffee has got you sorted. If you need to get up on your feet and figure out how to cope, go to Bung Bung Coffee. You go to bungbungcoffee.com and order this premium coffee from Colombia, Brazil, Peru, and Honduras. It's going to get delivered directly to your door. It's roasted to perfection. There's nothing better. There's not a better brown in the world. And it's a consistent brown. You're not going to get two different looking batches, two different tasting batches. This is what coffee is supposed to be. Okay? And because you listen to the Welcome to the Poddy podcast, enter promo code PODDY, that's PODDY, for 15% off all orders. That's 15% off all orders delivered to your door. BUNG coffee.com. Like a pet food, man. Again, if you've got misbehaved dogs, well-behaved dogs, fat dogs, skinny dogs, scruffy dogs, shiny dogs, Like a Pet Food is the pet food for you. Dude, my dog used to have a skin issue. Got on Leica, cleared it up. Used to get allergies in the grass and all that. Got on Leica, cleared it up. Now this isn't medicine. I'm not prescribing it to you. I'm recommending it. Dude, my dog, I used to have a fat dog and a fussy dog. Now I got neither dog. I still got the same dogs, but one of them eats everything and the other one is skinny, thanks to Leica. So if you go to leica.com.au, that's lyka.com.au, and enter promo code GIGI-135, that's GG-135, you're going to get 50% off your first week's subscription. Okay, this meal plan is for every dog. Your dog doesn't need to have a weight problem, doesn't need to have any problem. It's just good to have your dog eat like you do. Why would you give your pet, your best friend, anything less than what you give yourself? And that's why Like a Pet Food exists. GIGI-135 for 50% off your first week subscription. Whoa. Opus Clip, man. Look, you follow the podcast, you follow Clay's reviews, and you see all these clipped up things with the captions at the bottom, and you're like, whoa, how's he have the time to do all this? I don't, dude. I feed my long form video in through Opus Clip, and it comes out with exactly what I ask for. With the new portion of Opus Clip anything, you can prompt AI to pick what you want. So I can say, hey, get me the funniest parts of this video into one clip. Hey, do a film review for Colombiana, no longer than 1 minute, and make sure it's punchy. And it'll just do that for me, dude. It's like having an assistant, but it's AI. And I know it's taking jobs, but some of us aren't making enough money for an assistant anyway. All right. If I was, maybe I'd get one, but I don't need one, dude. All right. Cause I've got Opus Clip. And if you want to get Opus Clip and get 30% off of your pro plan, shoot, you just go to the link in the episode description, and that's my specific link, so it helps me out too. So just please do that. If you're interested in Opus Clip, have a look, click on the link in the episode description and get after it. And of course, just to support myself and the show, buy tickets to all of my solo shows or any of my gigs in general, really. Doesn't have to be a solo show, but buy tickets to anything on my website, claymcmathcomedy.com. Buy merch from the show, and that's how you can support what we're doing over here. All right, let's start the show.
Welcome to the party. Best show on the internet. Ask anybody. You know it's easy money. Sit back, relax, get your headphones, everybody. Welcome to the party. Blackout in the booth. Every episode's a party. We go hard like Ricky Bobby. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is Welcome to the Party.
Welcome to the party, bung bung. It's your man Claytron, aka the Big Boss Man, aka the Clumsy Jeweler, because I'm always dropping gems, aka the Milkman, because I always deliver, aka the PhD of podcasting, the Magnum PI of podcasting, the Captain, the Kendrick Lamar of podcasting once again, because I am making MFers sue their own boss over how successful I am. Yeah, dude. I don't know if you guys have seen, but Drake has submitted filed two lawsuits, one against UMG, Universal Music Group, and one against Kendrick Lamar. So the one against UMG is basically saying that they unfairly distributed the hit diss song Not Like Us, which you would have all heard, you know. They not like us, they not like us, they not like us, you know. And they're saying that was unfairly distributed. There was bots and all types of tech being used to boost that song and to dislike Drake's songs and all of that, which is fine, is likely true, but it's not the first instance of that. And Drake has benefited from that type of behavior for years up until this point. And then the second lawsuit was against Kendrick Lamar for, what is it, slander? Defamation. For defamation. Now, here's how the chain of events went in short, okay? Drake released push-ups begging Kendrick to drop a diss track aimed directly at him. He waited a week, dropped Tailor-Made, which was him using AI to sound like Tupac and Snoop Dogg without their consent. Okay? Mr. Protecting Artists, you know, suing UMG. Without their consent, he sounded like Tupac and Snoop Dogg on a track, begging Kendrick to drop. Kendrick dropped Euphoria, saying, hey, look, let's just keep this a rap battle. Let's not mention any family stuff, okay? Let's not go there. I don't want to go there, but I will if you push me to go there. Then Drake said, hey, guess what? You used to beat your fiance. Your kids aren't yours. And matter of fact, I think they're your security guard or your manager or whoever Dave Free is. And that's defamation in itself, because there's just no evidence to any of that either. So it's like we're like picking battles here. He did the exact same thing. And what are we going to do? We're going to go back through the history of rap and be like, oh, Nas called Jay-Z a typo ho. Was he really 36 in a karate class? Well, I doubt it. You know? Tupac, this is why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. Yeah, did he really fuck Faith? Is it Faith Evans or Faith Hill? I forget. Whoever Biggie was with. Did that happen? You know? Or are we just lying? Because it's a diss song. It's rap. It's you insult someone. You know? Your mama so fat, her belt size is equator. That's not true, hopefully. There's no such belt size as equator, hopefully. And your mother couldn't possibly be that fat, hopefully. But we still make the joke. Every joke, no joke that's ever been made, okay, maybe a couple, goes exactly the way it all happened. There's all hyperbole and all time. You got to exaggerate. Otherwise, it's not that funny, you know? As a balding man, if I write a joke about me going down on a woman, she can see her reflection in my head. And it's like she's going down on herself. Did that happen? Did I shine my head up like a damn bowling ball? I doubt it, dude. It's all, I don't know. It's all just art at the end of the day. It's still art even though you're shitting on somebody. And Drake, you know, I don't know. I don't think this is a good look for Drake. This is the worst anyone's ever looked after a rap battle, by the way. Ever since all his songs have been straight dookie, Kendrick just keeps climbing, you know, he gets offered the Super Bowl. He releases an album and everyone loves it. Well, Drake stans don't love it, but Drake stans only love Drake. That's what a stan is. You're in love. You're infatuated with this celebrity. You don't just like them and like their art. It's like everyone else sucks except this person. Stans, Kendrick Lamar stans, Michael Jordan stans, LeBron stans. Anyone who's a stan is really quite out of their mind, and I don't have time for them. They're not fun to be around, and they're frankly idiots. Okay? They have mental incapacities, and this is research this if you want. You can go ahead and quote this, but there's something wrong with the way their mind works. That you can only support one person or one group or whatever. Fucking Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit was the best. Corn sucks dick. I was like, Corn's not my favorite, but they're good at what they do. It's just not my jam. I don't need to wish death upon them or whatever, Whatever. You get it. You get the point. But Drake looks wild. No one's ever sued someone after losing a rap battle before. J. Cole looked crazy when he stepped down. Although that was apparently advised. Apparently Schoolboy Q said, hey, you don't want no parts of this. Whatever, it still looked crazy. Like visually, optics, it didn't look great for J. Cole. And he did a diss song and he removed it. He deleted it from streamers after that. So he looked wild and everybody was shitting on J. Cole. J. Cole must be like letting out the biggest sigh of relief after just everything that has happened and watching the way Drake's going out. And the thing is, this isn't the end of Drake. It can't be. He's got too many fans and too many stans who will stick by him through all this garbage music and they will pretend that is great. Now, Kendrick came out with a new album, GNX, and it is great. I love it. I've had fun listening to it. I've been listening to it all week. I had gigs this week, and I was listening to it on the way to my gigs to get hype. I liked it, man. Some people were saying it's trash, and I don't quite, I'm not a Drake fan. That's well documented on the Welcome to the Poddy podcast, but I'm certainly more of a Kendrick fan, always have been a Kendrick fan. And, I thought Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was good. It wasn't quite my taste. Now, I don't always love bangers. I'm not trying to only hear club bangers and shake my ass at the club, but he's a good storyteller. He's super introspective and conscious, which I love. I'm into conscious rap. I'm into J. Cole. I'm into Common, and he's just fully lyrical and I love it. But Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers just didn't hit me the same as his other projects. I actually prefer GNX to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Some people would call me crazy for that, but it's all a matter of personal preference is what I'm trying to say. This is a good album. It's a great album. I love it. I don't necessarily have to come out and say it's a 10 out of 10. It's the best thing that's ever happened just because I hate Drake though. But Drake's last few projects for me, well, before For All the Dogs, I actually enjoyed For All the Dogs. Certified Lover Boy, put that in the bin. Whatever that other shit was, that was like a dance album or something, I don't know. It was trash. A lot of his shit's trash. A lot of his shit, he's got some classics too. You got to understand that just because you don't like someone, they can still have classics. I think Kendrick I think it was Euphoria said something about something about Drake not having any classics, which is just like, again, is that defamation? Is that he just lied? He just flat out lied. He knows Drake's got classics. He's not an idiot. It is what it is. Whatever. I don't want to get into it too much because I will end up just taking a side, which evidently I've done already. But, dude, it's been a week. It's been a week. Had a wedding. Well, it's been 2 weeks. I just didn't have time. The schedule could not get right. I know it's been happening a bit too much lately, but I did give you 2 episodes a couple of weeks ago to make up for it, and I might be able to do that again sometime coming up and make up for this missed episode. But I did miss a week. Not much happened that week. I did end up having a wedding this week or last week or whatever. Friend of the show, Jackson, married his beautiful wife, and that was just a beautiful time. Sometimes it's an honor to just be at the wedding, you know. And I like to break down weddings. I like to break them down and talk a bit of shit. I've talked so much shit about weddings, dude, that I don't think I can ever have one, because the people I've talked shit to would expect a banger, and one, too expensive. It's not going to be a banger. It's basically going to be like BYO, you know. My shit's going to be so weak because I got like no money. Also, I'm not engaged, so it's not happening anytime soon. But yeah, I've put a lot of pressure on myself in the event that I do get married by talking a lot of shit about weddings. But I had nothing negative to say about this wedding. It was fucking elite. From the logistics of the actual wedding and presentation and stuff to everyone's speeches. There wasn't a single speech that I was like, fucking get off stage. Shut up. Give it a rest. Page 6. Are we doing this? You know, and you all, dude, you can pretend that that's irrational of a guest to be like, ugh. You've all been there, dude. Some people take it as their chance, their opportunity, you know, to get everything they ever wanted. Shout out to Eminem, but would you capture it or just let it slip? But some people really get up there and they think it's about them, dude. It's like, hold on. This is someone's wedding. Let's talk about them. Hey, guess what? There's actually 2 people getting married. Let's not just get stuck on this person, you know? And I get it, dude. I get it. If Kenny got married, I would want to just be like, oh, Kenny, I knew you'd do it, brother. You're the man. But I'd also be like, welcome, you know. Welcome this fucking hot chick that Kenny's marrying into the family. She's like a daughter to me. You know, I'd go full WWE. I'd get in the mic and be like, and brother, understand this. If anybody here disrespects Kenny or his girlfriend, and it is a girlfriend, you know, like that, I'm going to call for you. Hulk Hogan, I'm calling for you, nigga. Shout out to Booker T saying the N-word accidentally. But, yeah, that was a good wedding. You know, a lot of love in the room. Makes you fucking feel it, dude. Mad positivity. You wake up hungover as fuck, but you're still okay. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of love. It's nice, man. I also had some gigs. I opened for Dan Muggleton, who, you know, he's a friend of the show. Check this out. He's one of 2 guests that I've had on this show that I forgot to hit record for. Forgot to hit record. So he doesn't even know that. And, you know, we've just recently had a one-on-one hang. So I hope, you know, part of me wants him to listen to the podcast and be like, whoa, this is the best podcast I've ever heard. But the other part of me is like, I hope he doesn't listen to this and find out that he wasted an hour with me 2 years ago or 3 years ago when I forgot to press record and he didn't know. He didn't know about that. But that's all good, man. He was awesome. Hot crowd, dude. I opened for him and just fucking crushed, dude. And, you know, you don't always want to say that. And I'm going to humble myself in a minute when I talk about the other gigs I've had this week, but fucking crushed. I felt good. And he's so fucking funny, man. It was good to like sit down for an hour of comedy and just listen to someone that fucking good, that smart, man. It's just like, wow. Sometimes I have to say, wow. I'm not trying to ride this guy's jock too hard, but he's fucking good, man. Oh, I think I have a gig at Shapeshifter Brewery. I don't think I've talked about that yet because I started to record. That's right. I started to record last week. Kenny got dropped off and it was over. And then I just deleted it. I didn't finish that episode. So yeah, Shapeshifter Brewing, fun show, great crowd, fun crowd. I've seen a couple of people just by chance since then from the crowd that have, given us some compliments, which is nice, which is always nice, and like you don't expect it either. So that felt good. So Cold Blooded Comedy is going well, trying to organise some stuff for 2025 and get out to a town or city near you. So I hosted a fucking open mic on Monday night and just what a crowd. Just a nightmare, dude. Just a nightmare. If you were there, if you were in the crowd, fuck you, dude. So bad. Just why are you there? Why are you going to comedy and not laughing at it? And it wasn't just me, like it wasn't just, oh fuck, Clay's fucked this show for everybody. No, mate. I tried to mop up blood where I have to. There was some people that really ate some like I ate dicks, but some of these cunts were eating some monster slabs on stage, dude. Like just bags and bags of dicks and so I had to go up and try and mop up the blood, and I couldn't. It was everyone was drowning in it, and whatever. Just one of those nights. Sometimes you get those nights, especially, dude, I swear to God, especially this time of the year. So I haven't booked anything in December because I'm like, let's just have a fucking month-long break and not even force the nightmare gigs that you get, But whatever, that's good. Then I tried to recover from that the next night at Cranker, and I featured there. I did fine. I didn't crush like I'd like to crush. I did fine. I don't think people would have been going home being like, oh, that last guy was my favorite. Well, maybe. I didn't actually watch the other acts, but it sounded like a good room. And yeah, like I said, I didn't fucking bomb, but sometimes you just want it to be like, and that's what I thought it was going to get. And I just didn't that night. It went fine. I think, dude, opening for Dan just fucking kind of set a bit of a standard, dude. I was hungry for that. Like I crushed that show. To be honest, I'm not trying to, toot my own, because I come on this show and I'll tell you when I eat a bag. Like on Monday night, I ate it. Okay, so I'll keep it even. I'm not just telling you I think I'm the best comic to ever exist. I had a good night on Saturday. It was fun. I feel good. I want to tell you guys. And if you haven't ever seen me live, then buy tickets, man. Links on claymcmathcomedy.com. But we are getting ready to go into Clay's reviews. So let's do that.
Comedy, action, horror. Will this movie win an Oscar? Set design, directing, acting, lighting, or costumes. This segment is Clay's reviews.
Telemarketers follows former telemarketing employees Pat Pespis and Sam Lippman-Stern, two longtime office friends who find themselves hot on the trail of a sobering look at the ugly side of American capitalism and the abuse of customer trust. So this is 3 episodes long, which is long enough for you to get through an entire box of TV snacks, and that's what I did. Now, is that related to telemarketing? Not really, but a docuseries is essentially a TV show. So I ate TV snacks and I smashed a whole box of them. Yes, I did. Don't look at me like that. Don't judge me like that. At least I wasn't dipping them in full fat milk. I could have done that. I could have bit one end off and done like a Tim Tam Slam situation, but I didn't do that. I was drinking like peppermint tea or something, I believe. Peppermint tea and TV snacks. And I think they're made by Arnott's or something. If Arnott's wants to get around the Welcome to the Poddy podcast, go ahead. So yeah, 3 episodes long, which was good. It was too much for a film, and far too little for a like 8 episode miniseries or something like that. It actually got a little bit slow towards the end. Like the story started to dry up a little. The momentum started to dry up, and you could feel that their progress in their investigation was slowing down, which might have been the point creatively. I doubt it, because you want pace, especially in a documentary. Like, when you watch a movie that's like slow paced, that's usually because of character development. You're getting to know somebody, and there's still like something significant happening. This just sort of like this started switching into weird little barriers that weren't really pertinent to the story. For example, they've got a huge lead on something, and they've got to fly from, I forget where they are, New Jersey, I think, and they've got to fly down to Florida. And Pat Pespis in the gate, like at the gate of the flight, is like, no, I can't do this. I'm too scared to fly. So they drive down. You know, like that's a detail that doesn't really add to the story. It's just sort of like, okay, we could miss a meeting, which is like scheduled, which would suck, but like it wasn't like adding too much to the suspense of the thing. It wasn't, I don't know. But things like that sort of stalled the progress because there was a significant, I mean, the amount of footage these guys must have had to go through and choose the right portions to bring it down to what, 3 hours or something. It was shot over a number of years on Handycam, like which was good. Like I like that. You don't want as long as they can hold the motherfucker still, like you don't want it to be all over the place. That gets a bit distracting, but this was fine. Like Sam knew how to use a camera and it worked, and it looked good and it looked real. It felt like you were there, which is a great feeling. It's not just like something that's just giving you historical context and like pictures of the office while someone narrates it, which is, you know, a lot of YouTube documentaries have that. But this was real. You're seeing footage happening in the moment, which he's chopped up and created this great documentary. It's absolute chaos. And it's funny because a lot of us haven't experienced what Sam experienced working for, I don't remember the name of the company, but this company basically offers minimum wage, no commissions to people that are desperate for work. So a lot of people that are like on parole, they're ex-criminals or they're drug addicts. They don't have anything else. And they're just like, yeah, cool, work for us because we know that you need money and you're going to work your ass off. You're going to work, you know, however long, 15 hours a day, or I don't know what the restrictions are around it. But they're like, yeah, sure, you've killed somebody, come work for us, which is wild. That's wild to begin with. Then you got drug addicts, you got people passing out. They've just done like heroin in the car. They're like passing out at their desk, and then the phone connects to their next caller and their head comes up. This was specifically Pat Pespis. This was his situation. So he didn't make the documentary, but he featured heavily. He was like Sam's best friend in the workplace, and they became very close in the workplace and then out of it, and created this investigation together. This motherfucker is passing out at his desk and his phone would connect and he'd like wake up and he'd sell the shit. Whatever the fuck they were selling. What they were selling was like, they were trying to get donations to like a pension fund for like the police or veterans or whatever, but it wasn't even going to that. It was like, that's the whole story. Is like, you think you're doing something good, but you're actually ripping off the people that you're calling. You're just going through this list, talking shit, and you half the time they're like pretending to be a cop, like, yeah, I'm Captain Joe Schmo from XYZ precinct. I was just calling because, you know, we've had a few deaths this year and we'd really be able to support the boys. You know, if you can, we've got a maximum package here. If you could give us $400, that would be much appreciated. We'll send you out a sticker to show that you support your police and shit like that. And people will be like, shit, man, I'm so sorry to hear about those deaths. Yeah, like, get me on the platinum package. Yeah, you know what? Business is doing real bad for me right now, but my cousin's a cop. So here's $1,000. And that's what they were doing. Come to find out, this money's not even really going to the police or the families of the fallen officers. It's going to like their like social club. So they're using this money to like fly out and do golf trips and like all types of wild shit. This is what the whole thing's about. They're using all these different services, fire service, police service, military, to just hustle people out of cash. And it's crazy. there was a significant amount of evidence that they were able to obtain through secretly recording calls, obviously bringing a camera into the workplace and like showing what people were doing, like how they were selling, plus talking, like faking applying for a job and getting information from whoever was, looking for the employee. I don't know if I'm making sense, but like the person trying to get someone to work for them, right? Getting information from them by pretending to apply for a job, and then getting the job, working for them, and being like, oh, so can I say this? And they're like, yeah, say whatever the fuck you want, like shit like that. And just they've got all this on camera. They really cared, because once they found out that what they were doing was bad, they were like, what the fuck's going, like how deep does this go? And they really put in work to solve this situation. And it's noble, but it's too big for little dogs to handle. And also it seems like politicians, or I don't know, whichever department you're supposed to go to, they don't want to touch it, which is just like, that's life, huh? That's life, man. People are just like, legally getting away with illegal shit. It's like the mob. Mobs, all mobsters were trying to do was go legit, because they knew that big picture they could rob people legally rather than illegally, right? How come the banks don't ever have to break your leg when they loan you money? Oh, because they'll just come in and take the house back and make you homeless without giving two fucks, because they can do whatever. They can loan you money that they know you don't have the ability to pay back. And then they'll just change interest rates whenever they want to change them. And then you can't pay it back. And they're like, all right, not only am I going to take back the shit that I gave you, like your house, but because of interest, I'm going to take your car, your wedding ring, your fucking podcast studio, your big ass TV, and your king bed. I'm going to take all that shit from you because I loaned you more money than you could afford. That's what mobsters were trying to do, was go legit, get that paper without the risk of going to jail. So they go from, oh, fuck you, pay me, I'll break your leg. I don't know if you guys have seen Jay Leno lately, but he reckons he fell over. His whole face is black and he like broke his arm or some shit. He's got a fingernail missing. I know a gambling debt when I see it, motherfucker. That dude's in deep, bro. Someone fucked Jay Leno up, dude. You got to have a look at that. You got to have a look at that shit. It looks crazy, man. The dynamic between Pat and Sam was awesome, because Sam's like a professional. He's sort of running a lot of the interview. He runs the camera a lot, but he's like a producer, director, because Pat's loose. Pat's a drug addict, or he's sort of like a recovering drug addict towards the end. But no, there's actually points where this motherfucker's doing smack like in the car, dude. Like he's a drug addict and gradually gets better, but Sam's like, yeah, dude, just maybe go in with a gentler approach on this one, because he knows, I'm sure he knows that he could have done a better job, but someone needs to hold the camera. And, he knows Pat's fearless. You know how junkies can be. And, I don't mean junkie derogatory, but the motherfucker was an addict. And so he's just like, yeah, you do the interviewing. You go and talk to the fucking congressman or whatever. And he like trusted him. And it was like beautiful that he would have Pat in these like high stakes situations. There was a guy that was so important to their investigation that he fucked his name up. And so the guy was like, I don't know who the fuck you're talking to. And I just walked off. And Pat goes back to Sam and he's like, oh yeah, like I went up to Rasmus and he was just like, I don't know who Rasmus is. He's like, you called him Rasmus? He's like, yeah. He's like, his name's fucking Raja or some shit. It wasn't those stupid names. I don't know why I said that, but he's like, oh no. You know, he's a scatterbrained ex-junkie that can't keep it together at times. He does a really good job. Like you feel these feelings of pride though. You feel these feelings of pride though, man, with him. He's a character. He's a fun character. It's like the perfect matchup of like this young kid that I think he got into the game at like 14, and then I think this documentary just went on for years. I can't remember how much later. There was like a reunion. There was a point. There was like a time gap between like episode 2 and 3, which was significant. They both looked a lot different at this point. And yeah, I guess the show Telemarketers, it exposes the systematic fraud that comes along with this sort of campaign, this corporate greed. Right, I wish I could remember the company structure, but basically I think these two brothers started this business and it just boomed so quickly because people are so willing to stand, especially Americans, they're so patriotic, they're so willing to stand by their services, their servicemen and women, whether it's, like I said, military, fire, police, Coast Guard, whatever the fuck it is. And so it just boomed, and they set up offices everywhere, and they were all running the same way, running the same scam, saying the same shit. Rules got changed so you couldn't say this, so they were like, oh, we'll get around it by almost saying it, or saying this instead, which means the same thing. Just real foul shit, just classic corporate robbery, getting away with murder and not ever having to pay the price, because at the end of the day, spoiler alert, at the end of the day, they didn't get to a point where they were able to put an end to it. And I've heard a recent interview. I listened to another podcast with Sam Lippman-Stern. Yeah, I've listened to a podcast with him in it, and he's just like, yeah, this is still happening. I think that podcast was like early this year. I can't remember the year that the documentary came out. Documentary only came out in 23, and like I think Sam's got to be in his 30s now, and he started working there when he's 14. So look, it's been going for 15, let's call it 15 years, and it's still happening. So and there doesn't have to be in a documentary, like Making a Murderer, for example. There's no real closure. It's you either believe that Stephen Avery did it or you don't. And then you want to be on Kathleen Zellner's side as she tries to free him. Or you're just like, what's this bitch doing, trying to get a cold-blooded, stone-cold killer out on the loose again, and his retarded nephew or whatever. It's wild, man. Yeah, this didn't have that closure at the end, but it's still worth it, you know? It's not a film where, you know, a film like, what's it called? Inception. Some would argue that was a lazy ending because you don't know. You don't know whether he's in a dream or if he's in reality. But that's part of it. It's not lazy. It's part of the journey. The whole thing is confusing, and then about whether they're in dreams or not, or what layer of a dream they're in. They're in a dream within a dream and all that shit. And Leo says, you know, he's got his thing, so he knows where he is because he doesn't always know. And then that's how they finish it. It wasn't lazy. But it's frustrating kind of when you walk away and you're like, was he dreaming? Was he not dreaming? Did the totem fall or not? The framing and symbolism and stuff, like, it was pretty basic. Like, it's just but it's a documentary, so you can't go too crazy, but, you know, close-ups for emotional moments, and, you know, the handheld chaotic office scenes. I don't know if there was like filters on them to make them look older, but the footage was clearly a bit different for the office scenes, but I mean, it was cool. It worked. I liked the story because it was so absurd, but I've had an experience. I've had an experience very similar to this. There was this one time I took a shady job. Company's name was AppCo. I don't think they still exist. They couldn't possibly, because they ended up on like Today Tonight or something. I just took it because it was a sales job and I thought I could make some money. And I just wanted it for a couple, 2-3 months in between basketball gigs when I was still playing basketball. And I show up, they barely interview me. They're like, yeah, dude, you got this. Go ahead. And I show up on my first day and it's like, oh, like all this Wolf of Wall Street hadn't been out that long, so they're trying to do all that type of energy. And they're like, welcome our new team member, Clay. Yeah. And everybody is like, yeah, woo, 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 woo. Guys and girls sharing this energy. It was fucking wild. And maybe in the right setting, it would be fun to experience. But one, that just made me anxious. I don't know any of you people. I don't really want to talk to you now. And two, I was like, is this what the meetings are going to be like every Monday morning? I'm not really heaps into that. Anyway, I go out, I do half a week. Dude, they set me up in a mall. So I'm one of these motherfuckers annoying you when you're going shopping. Hey, how you going? Hey, you having a good day? You want to come over here real quick? Bullying motherfuckers. Hey. And then I'm working with this dude with like long flowing hair, dude. Like he looked like a typical like stoner surfer. One of these type of dudes. But he doesn't talk like one. He talks like a bit like, I don't know, businessy, because he's a con artist. All right. So he's like, dude, no one's going to stop when you're being like that. Just be like, hey, you're going to support the blind kids? Support the blind kids? I'm like, what? Because this thing was like for the Royal Society of the Blind or whatever. Not even. I don't even think it was that. It was like sports for visually impaired children, okay? That's what it was. And they were just like these scratch-off tickets. These little scratch-offs. And you had a chance to win money, I guess. And so what you do is you get them all and you can take them home and sell them to your family and stitch your family up, which I did on my first week. When it's like stitched up my family, yeah, buy these, you could win some money and you're also supporting kids. You can't claim it on tax because there's a chance to win money. Just like if you're doing the home lottery or whatever, you can't buy $1,000 worth of home lottery tickets and also claim that $1,000 on tax. You can't do that. And you can't do that with these either. But we were instructed to say that you could. Oh yeah, of course you can claim it. This is a charitable donation. It's not a donation. You're entering a lottery essentially. So they're just telling us to say whatever the fuck you want. And so I went and did a couple days of that, sold fuck all. No, I did a full week of that. And then working long hours, like probably not heaps long, like 10-hour days, probably, 50-hour week. I was also working at a pub during the nights at the same time. Okay. So I go straight from, whatever mall I'm out to the pub. I'm working like I was probably starting at the pub around 4, doing dinner shift, finishing up at about 1. Okay. So I was working like 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. dude. Not every day. I wasn't doing the pub every day, but I was doing the bullshit sales shit every day. Okay. So this is the hustle I was on in the off season. And then trying to find time to train in between this bullshit. So first week goes by, I sell fuck all, and I then find out when I get my pay slip, this was a weekly pay situation. I find out when I get my pay slip that this is a 100% commission-based role. So I worked 50 hours and I sold fuck all this whole week. I got like $163. Then I go into this Monday meeting and they try to humiliate me, bro. Best salesperson goes up, hits this gong. Yeah, I fucking killed it last week. Yeah. And then they're like, Clay, you got to do the worm across the room because you got the least sales this week. I was like, well, I won't be doing that. You know, this is in front of all these people. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, you got to do it. You got to do the worm across the room. I'm like, nah. Why? That's not going to make me sell better. Like, well, if you don't want to do the worm next week, you'll sell better. I'm like, hey, I don't want to do it this week. I'm not doing it this week. And they're like, all right, drop and give us 20 push-ups. I'm not doing 20 push-ups for you dumb motherfuckers either, you know? So I don't do the shit, and the guy calls me into his office. The boss calls me into his office for not humiliating myself. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, dude, you got it. I thought you said you're a team player. Don't you play basketball? I'm like, yeah, they don't put us through humiliation rituals at basketball. They make us, run if we're late or whatever, like anything normal. They don't make us do the fucking worm so people can laugh at us. And he's like, mate, that's not on. I'm like, what's not on is my fucking paycheck. What's up with that? I worked 50 hours last week. He's like, well, you didn't sell anything. It's a commission role. I was like, no one said shit about commission at my job interview. He's like, look, maybe you're not cut out for the malls. Look, let's do business to business for you. So here's your route this week. You hit all these businesses, these precincts, and you just go door to door and you sell this shit. And so I do that. I did a little bit better, but still, I got paid like $220 the next week, dude. I went in there. They tried to fucking humiliate me again, bro. This is no bullshit. I can't remember what. Oh, slug. It was something similar because the first one was the worm where you can kind of like dance it off and kind of look cool if you do it. But the next one was a slug, where your face is on the ground and you bring your fucking legs up and then dude, I was like, hey, I don't know if you guys saw me last week or not, but I'm not doing this shit for you guys. And as a matter of fact, I don't know why any of you guys do it for each other. You're all fucking crazy. Fuck this shit. I'm out. I walked out of the building. The boss chases me out of the building. He's like, just so you know, you're not fucking getting paid this week. I was like, I am fucking getting paid this week, or I'm fucking coming back here to get my money. You understand that? And I got paid, okay? But like that's wild, okay? And then like a year, maybe 2 years later, I'm sitting down with my girlfriend at the time at my mum's place. So my girlfriend, my mum, my stepdad, we're sitting down watching TV, and an ad comes on for Today Tonight saying, this business does, this to its employees, and we've got exclusive interviews with work. I'm like, I used to work there. I'm like, I hate Today Tonight. I'm watching this shit. So I sat down and watched that shit, and there's like a dude in Hobart that's like, yeah, I didn't hit my sales target, and they put a cigarette in my bum hole and they lit it. And I'm like, what? Why'd you let a motherfucker do that? You understand me? Do you understand me? There is a certain level of personal responsibility you got to take. Okay, maybe they held him down or whatever, and that's fucking terrifying. But if you're just like, oh, fuck, I can't believe I got lower sales this week. All right, go on, boys. Then you're a fucking loser, dude. You understand? That's fucking crazy. You can't let someone dehumanize you like that. It's fucking crazy, bro. But this is the life I lived for 2 weeks. And I, on 2 occasions, imagine that. Some people could barely do it one time. On 2 occasions, I was like, fuck out of here. I'm not doing that shit. And there's just some people who are like, yeah, go ahead, light a cigarette in my asshole. I'll get PTSD and talk to Today Tonight about it in 5 years. Like, that's what's happening, bro. APCO. It's like, you think that this telemarketing shit, like, first of all, yeah, we were robbing motherfuckers, lying to them. Yeah, it's tax, yeah, whatever. Keep a receipt. Who gives a fuck? And yeah, it's for blind kids. It's directly to them. Goes directly to the blind kids. Who knows where the money went? I think it was like a portion, because we're getting commission off it first off. Then the business has to make money off it. Then the rest would go. So it's probably like $1 out of every $10 goes to fucking buying a fucking cricket bat for a school or some shit. Like, who the fuck knows what was going on, man? Criminal. So I don't know if they're still around. I haven't researched it. But when I watched this shit, I was like, when I worked at this job, these motherfuckers thought they were doing Wolf of Wall Street shit. And I think they liked it. They were like, yeah, let's rob cunts. And 2, let's make our employees just like act as if they've joined a cult. And that's what it really was, man. Just on some other shit. Cold calls and hot messes. Look, I have received a few cold calls in my day. We all have. Rachel goes next level with them. She pretends to be really confused or really mad. She makes them hang up on her, which is cool. Sometimes she, speaks back to them in their accent, which I don't condone. Why is a wild move, but I actually do kind of fuck with it. But dude, if you get a phone call and at the start of it goes like, boop, that shit's whack. Just hang up. Just hang up. Motherfuckers get so mad at like telemarketers. I just like, hi, this is Ranjip from, I'm just like, nah, dude. Dude, I have to do cold calling for my job. Comedian. I have to call venues to try and book in shows. And it's like, it's a zero risk for them. Is we're going to come in, put on a show, bring people into your venue. They're going to buy food and drink. We're going to take the ticketing. Bang. It's all good. And it's really hard. It's really fucking hard to do. But I got a cold call, dude. I got it. And some people don't get it. I hit them up and this lady answered the phone. She wasn't even a decision maker. She was like a fucking receptionist. She's like, wait, let me get this straight. You want to come in here without hiring the venue? And I was like, can I talk to someone that understands business? And yeah, you're like, oh, well, maybe she does understand business, Clay, and maybe you shouldn't want a free venue. And hey, how about fuck you and this lady, because we're gonna drive business towards you. They're gonna be like, oh, comedy show here. Let's go there, buy overpriced drinks and overpriced food, marked up 200%. Now, what are you on? We just got 100 people in your venue and they spent minimum $50 each. $5K. The hustle is real. Questionable. Hustle culture in telemarketing, or the bullshit I was doing. Is it survival or is it exploitation? What's the balance between making a living and selling your soul? And people are starting to find that out. P. Diddy, Drake. Drake's not on the criminal end of it, but he's been riding the wave. He's been riding the machine for 15 years. He's been letting the big business push his agenda, his music, his entertainment, getting him to the top of the charts. And as soon as it starts working in another artist's favor, he wants to sue the machine that made him. You sold your soul already, bro. You allowed them to become what they are when it suited you. And now that it doesn't, you think you can take them down? No one man can do that. Kanye West couldn't beat the machine. They will make you look crazy, dude. They will make you look out of your fucking mind. And you got to realize that. You got to understand that. You sold your soul, bro. You made more than a living too, by the way. Did you put artists on and all that? Yeah, good for you. Good for you. You did a little bit for independent artists. But don't act now that you're doing this for the industry, for the independent artists. You've taken advantage of the machine to make you all that you are and all that you can be. And you got to put in the work. You got to go by the plan. But you, Drake, do right and kill everything. Wrong. You didn't do right. You're hitting up people's wives. You're fucking people's baby moms. Talking shit about Metro Boomin's mom died and you want to hit him up like, okay, who gives a fuck? I want my beat. That's wild, bro. You're lucky you only got a few songs made about you and you didn't get a fucking ass whooping. Because that, dude, you want to talk like that about my family, dude? That's wild. That's fucking wild, bro. You did wrong. Drake, you want to say that Drake stands for do right and kill everything? Maybe you did in terms of business for a long time, over a decade. But everybody's out to get you now. You made enemies, and it's fuck you now. You sold your soul, you can't buy it back. And that's real. Whistleblower wannabes. How do you stand up to injustice in the workplace? I've never seen an injustice like, you just heard my story before about AppCo. I did stand up. I did stand up for injustice, not for everybody, but for myself. I had another job where I was the most suitable manager when one of our managers went on extended leave. And they put this other person in that knew nothing, asked me to train him. I was like, so I'm training the next manager. Why wouldn't you put me as manager? Oh, she's worked here longer. Oh, word? Time doesn't equal competence. Okay? It's not always the way it works like that. So I fucking quit there too. Quit right there. I was like, I'm out. Hey, guess what? I'm out, by the way. Here is 2 weeks notice and also 7 days sick leave. Think about that, motherfucker. That's the kind of justice I stand up for. I don't know. I've never had to blow a whistle on anything before. It feels good though to stand up for wrongdoing. Probably even more so for somebody else. Trying to think of an example of whether I've done that ever. I think I have. I've taken I've done I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've given the shirt off my back to a homeless person before. That's real. But I've never like a straight up injustice and been like, fuck you, man. This guy doesn't deserve that. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I've ever even jumped into a fight to stop it. Maybe in like basketball, but that's just part of the game really. I don't think I've ever seen like a street fight and been like, guys, nothing could be worth this. I don't know, man. Maybe I need to stand up for more injustices. Maybe that's what I'm realizing right now. But what I know for a fact is I've stood up for myself and always will. 100%. And you also have to pick your moments with that. You can't always think that everyone's out to get you, and you can't always have a problem. You got to pick your battles. Otherwise, you just become a problem. You always got a problem as well. Like, you got to think, what's the common denominator here? Why do I always think something's wrong? Oh, that's right, because maybe I'm what's wrong. Offers chaos and camaraderie. Sometimes when you are in a situation, specifically a bad one, lots of coaches will use this as a strategy. I'm going to be the biggest piece of shit coach, and then it'll be a common hatred. Everyone will bond over being mad at me. So sometimes when you're in a situation, a less than desirable situation, you will bond more with people. My final basketball season, my last lap around got cut short. I quit in the preseason because my coach was a fuckhead. It didn't make me want to be any closer with my teammates. I was already close with those motherfuckers. And I was like, I'm not going to spend my last season playing for this fuckhead. Absolute cocksucker. Easy to say on a podcast, still said it to that motherfucker's face. He's a bitch. Always been a bitch. Dude, it's wild because this dude, when I was a junior, gave me a really good opportunity. He was my coach for a state team, and he just let me loose. He let me, ISO dudes up. He let me do what I did because I was still a team player. I made the right decision. I played defense. So he let me loose, dude. And I was able to get seen at a certain point of my career when I needed to be seen. I appreciated that back then. I think he had a mental breakdown at some point while I was away. And when I came back, I don't think he fully recovered from that. And he was being the biggest fuckhead ever as my coach for the second time. And I was like, I was just like, fuck you, dude. I'm not playing for you, dude. You're ruining everyone's time here, not just mine. Yeah, it's my last go around, and I want to share the love. I want everyone to have a good season here, but you're a fuckhead. I've been in other situations outside of sport, like where people understand the machine that is the corporate role, the big business that owns you, and that your happiness doesn't really matter. The bottom line does. And so people go in there, they're not happy every day, but like they're happy enough to see you, to form the relationships. These are the people I spend most of my time with. 8 hours a day with these people, then 5 hours at home before I fall asleep. These are the people that I spend most of my waking life with. So I'm going to make the most of it. And so you form relationships at these jobs. And some of them are really fun, man. Christmas parties get out of hand. Used to work alongside this absolute MILF dude. Saw her nipple at the Christmas party. Never forgot it. Never will. It's fantastic. Hope she's watching. Some places will install like a table tennis, ping pong table, and pretend they're happy for you to play it. But then like your performance meeting comes around, it's like, I always see you at that table tennis table upstairs. And you didn't quite hit your target this quarter. So no, you're not going to get a raise because I saw you play with that thing up there. And it's like, is that a fucking trap? Is this the goddamn Hunger Games? Am I Katniss Everdeen right now? Am I table tennis Batness Everdeen right now, bro? I just can't believe that at the end of this movie that it seems that the business has got away with it. And that's like multi-level marketing is a big scam. Like they call it a pyramid scheme. They've renamed it to multi-level marketing so that you can't sort of, if you're not in the know, you can't recognize it. Rach had one of her friends come after her for an MLM. And she's like, no, I trust her. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's the whole thing. She hasn't figured it out yet, but it's a scam. And they come for family and friends first. So that's why I know she hasn't figured it out yet. Family and friends are the first victims of an MLM. Come on, dude. I've got the best fucking dome shiner for you. You know, you go on bold, pop this on, dude, and then you'll love it so much you'll want to sell it. And dude, I can hook you up. I can hook you up with a job today. And dude, you get financial freedom. You get time back. You get to work your own hours. Yeah, I mean, you only have to work 26 hours a day to make $1, but dude, you get your own time. You get to work your own hours. Financial freedom. Fuck, free from what? Free from what? That's jail bars all around you, dude. MLM is a bad news, bro. They get away with it. Bernie Madoff. That wasn't a pyramid scheme, was it though? That was a Ponzi scheme. Which is like, you take one, dude, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get you X amount back on your return on investment, ROI. I'm gonna get you X amount ROI on your investment in 3 weeks. And he's like, what? All right, here, take 3 million. And you're like, fuck, okay, I've got to get him 3.3 million in 3 weeks. All right, so over here, I'm going to get 300,000 from this guy, pay him back on that investment from over here, and then do this. And you're just taking money from other people and giving it to other people, saying it's these crazy investment returns, but it's not. At the end of the day, there comes a point where you can't pay the money back that you've promised, and that's when you go to jail. And I don't think people get their money back. I think they just get fucked out of it for not doing their homework and being like, oh God, this guy just made off with my money. How is it that this dude is actually called Bernie Madoff? His name is a goddamn pun. It's unbelievable. I thought I learned about this when I was in college. I'd never heard about him before until I did some type of business ethics course in college. And I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a fucking joke that his name was Madoff. And I kept saying it, dude. I'm like, oh, so he just made off with all their cash there, did he? And they're just not amused because I'm not the first person that's ever said it, but I think I am, you know? Fucking dumb cunt, dude. You're just stupid. But, yeah, it's just a wild situation that people knowingly rip people off, especially vulnerable people, and in the name of heroes, in the name of police, in the name of firefighters, Coast Guard, Navy, Air Force, Army, in the name of blind children's sports, just ripping motherfuckers off, dude. That's what my job was. Cool, bro. Cool. So if you ever bought one of those, I hope you didn't buy it from me. You probably didn't because as I said, I made fuck all money because I couldn't sell shit. This series, man, 3 episodes sort of docuseries, I'd give it 6.5 sketchy phone calls out of 10. And yeah, really, it's just, the subject matter is interesting. The story started to slow, like I said before, and there is some character development, but there's some points where the story stalled. You would like to have seen more progress in some areas. There's one interviewer where he says some pretty hectic stuff about like looking over his shoulder, thinking he's going to get killed and all that. Is there an outcome there? Is it like just some things didn't get a bow put on them, and yeah, the story stalled a bit. 6.5 sketchy phone calls out of 10, but that is a 6.5 that I deeply recommend. Go see it. Tell a friend about Welcome to the Poddy podcast. Go to claimingmathcomedy.com and buy merch, buy tickets to all my shows. I love you guys. Don't forget to love yourselves. And as always, bung bung.